Welcome to another episode of 37 Ales and Hockey Tales with Wally. And today I'm so excited to have on a 32, 33, two 36-year-olds and a 38-year-old from London, Ontario, Medicine Hat, and Edmonton, Alberta, Canada, Clinton Township, Michigan, and Linwood, Washington, USA. Their hockey journeys took them to Canada, the USA, Germany, Sweden, Czech Republic, Austria, England, Wales, Australia, France, Italy, and they are legends in Scotland with the Glasgow Clan. A second round to Chicago and Florida, a seventh rounder to Phoenix, 4 return to the shed after episodes 46, 64, 86, and 109 that have combined for 2,030 wins. The other, we are worried, will make the shed legitimate as he has 27 NHL games played with the Chicago Blackhawks and New York Islanders. And I hope to coerce him into my shed for a little one-on-one time. Welcome to the shed, Leigh Salters, Derek Roehl, Chris Frank, Matt Keith, and Stefan Meyer.
Wow.
Gosh, a lot of people today.
Nice.
Yeah. So, I get into how we know each other. Keither, I guess we're meeting each other. Thanks for coming on.
Yeah, nice to meet you.
Yeah, nice to meet you. And I hope to do a full episode so I can really get to know you, give you a player review, and go over your career. Raylor, I just and Raylor, I just met you too a couple weeks ago, and you're back in the shed already.
Love it. Can't get enough.
Can't get enough of the shed. Mizey, I know you're tired, you're flat out, right? You're working hard. You may not be able to hang in here the whole night or what?
Just a couple drinks, buddy. Is this a PG one or is this X-rated?
This is whatever you want. It's whatever you want it to be every time you come to the shed.
That's
this
right
is about you guys.
Jerseys, Mizey.
I'm in the basement, eh? I'd rather be in that bar. Tip your waitress, Raylor, you cheap bastard.
I will. Still got some of that Hutchie money left over.
Okay. Frankie, I know you, or I guess everybody else other than Keither was former episodes. Frankie and Raylor both went to Western Michigan and we're pretty hot, eh? The Broncos.
Number 3 right now, not a big deal.
In the nation.
Right? We're unreal.
And episode 98.5, Ethan Frank is up for the Hobie Baker, right? So
come on, really?
Yeah. So get up and everybody get online and vote for episode 98.5, Ethan Frank, right?
He can't win. Then he'll be the most infamous Frank at that place, man. That's going to be devastating. Frank Tank will be dead.
They won't call him Frank the Tank. You're the only Frank the Tank there. Don't worry about that.
That's true. That's true.
I Frankie, you're not on Instagram. I put up the video of you hitting that guy in Michigan, eh?
Yeah, that was fun.
I saw that. It's about 7 feet in the air.
I was playing in that game, and when I saw it happen live, I couldn't believe it.
That's because he put my buddy to some other dude on Michigan put my buddy to sleep about a minute before that.
Yeah,
like
elbow right to the head.
Yeah.
Well, when you guys were all running, you lined them up from our bench, bro. You lined them up from the bench.
So I guess the other way I know everybody is in 2014-15, the Cardiff Devils played the Glasgow Clan, and you guys were all on the not Brayhead Clan, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, terrible reffing up there when you come from Wales. Did you know that?
That was Toby's birthday yesterday.
Was it Toby?
Yeah.
Whose birthday?
Toby. You'd remember him.
You got to thank him for all those second assists he gave you, eh?
Oh, you have to come and say hi. Good looking at you now.
Hey, who was
bartender.
That? Oh, the bartender.
Make sure you tip her, Raylor.
So, Raylor, where are you right now? Everybody else seems to be in their houses. One's in a basement. Nobody else is in a shed. But where are you?
Baffin Brewery. It's a local brewery company down the road from my house. A buddy owns. And I didn't want to wake up my wife and little guy tonight. So
Makes sense.
Stay here.
Nice guy.
Good call.
Smart man. Smart man. I'll give it to you.
Thanks. I'll
What do
tip
you?
him. I'll tip him.
Wally's
I'll send
sitting
you a
on a
Venmo.
skidoo in his shed. Are you sitting on a skidoo right now, or are you standing up?
I stand every pod the whole time.
Skidoo.
This is how I exercise.
I remember Wally.
I
Wally
sway-
looked like
I sway back and forth and make people uncomfortable.
well, that's what you looked when you played. Like you looked like a fire hydrant on skates with Brett Hall trigger.
That's only if I could get around on the barrel. But yeah, we did have some battles because you guys were a team. Why I wanted to have you guys on was obviously I know a bunch of you, but when I went and played there that year with Cardiff, you guys seemed like a team that was like a team that like all liked each other and were having fun. And I actually was pretty worried that you guys were going to beat us, but then I guess both of us blew it or didn't win.
Edinburgh, man. Edinburgh.
The heel.
Fucking Sheffield. Fuck.
I think Edinburgh had about 12 people in that game too, against a full squad.
They can do that too, though. They could beat teams with 12
That's because that rink
players.
was just so miserable to play in. Everyone hated their lives
Minus
as soon
40
as they got in the
degrees.
locker room. Yeah, there's 7 guys that I felt like had to sit outside the locker room to get dressed because it was so packed in the actual dressing room. You're freezing.
So you're
You
gonna
can
blame
hear
it.
the one
You're gonna
guy-
blame it on the arena, eh, Frankie?
You can
blame it on the
hear
arena.
one guy chirping you on the entire Edinburgh side the entire time.
Somebody
You
turned
got-
off the hot water, plugged the shitter, threw the hotel and down the hallway.
Meanwhile, Mizey's on the bike in the hallway riding his balls off on a bike that has no tension.
Energy
give him
off of
credit.
Lion Bars and Lincoln Gates.
Okay.
They played the game. They played the game.
What was the score of that game? You lose like 2-1. Did it come down to like the last?
That's not what screwed us that year. It was the Hull Stingrays that screwed us.
No, because we beat Hull the night before, and then we lost the next night in Edinburgh, and then we were done.
Wasn't it an aggregate with Hull?
Well, yeah, but that was like to win
Oh.
the league, though.
To get to the playoff. Oh, to win the league. Yeah.
The league.
Yeah,
Win the league.
The
We would've
league's
won
what
the
I
league.
was talking about. Yeah, you guys blew it because you guys were way ahead of us for a while. Isn't in Glasgow like you guys don't play a home game for like the first couple months? Isn't that a thing?
Oh,
Disney
yeah.
on Ice, yeah. Disney on Ice is there for the first month of September. So we don't play any games at home for the first month. And then we had to drive to Augenarvie 90% of the time, which was a 45-minute drive to the practice facility, practice, and then 45-minute drive back.
You had a nice bakery on that route, though, so you didn't mind it too much, did you, Franco?
I filled up on cupcakes on the way home. Yeah.
The Oreo cake.
Doesn't look like it.
You know what though? Disney on Ice is a nice show. I've been there. I was there in London, Ontario. I guess Salts. That's where you're from.
Yeah, hometown.
Yeah.
Was it? Didn't Frankie? Didn't you, Fitzy, and Roehl drive with Finner all the time?
No.
Who
That wasn't-
who drove?
that
Somebody
wasn't me.
drove with Finner. It was like maybe it was Fitzy.
I thought it was you.
No,
I thought it was just you and Finner
Oh,
just
it's
setting
you
up
and
the power
Mizey.
play. PP1. Going
Just
over power plays all the
whispering in
time.
his ear, wants the captaincy. Yeah, just whisper. Yeah.
It wasn't me because I wasn't fitting in the fucking back of those cars, man. Yeah, there's only for
I
what?
remember driving those roads too, man. They were dangerous. And
Any beers on the way back?
No, man, that team was completely dry all year. They didn't drink. They didn't do that.
It's turned
Dry
all
on.
the cases.
That's not what I heard.
I mean, I love to keep a bottle of Bailey's underneath my stall before practice and on the road trips up to Augenarvie. That was my go-to little warm-up.
You had
That's-
Baileys in your coffee?
That's a true story. True
Just
story.
a little,
I
just a
remember.
little creamer. Yeah,
What's a little cream do, right? That's not gonna do anything.
Yeah.
Maybe loosen you up a bit, right?
right.
Drove me every day. Never knew it. Just drinking and driving.
Okay.
Never even.
Good to know,
offered,
bud.
eh?
Good to know.
What a- What a dick.
Yeah, never asked.
I was just curious about the beers on the way back from practice because I just I just remember a time when Cardiff didn't have ice and we had to go to Swindon for practice, and it was like an hour and a half back. It was a long trip. You know, I'm not saying.
Yeah, you knew how long the trip was. Wasn't an hour. It was three beer, right? It's
3 or 4 beers.
three to four, depending who you were. Yeah.
And if you're really sweet dude, it was probably a cigarette or two in there too.
I wasn't that good.
Oh,
Couldn't do that
I
to
pictured you as the guy that smoked the cigarette. But
Yeah, the ones that smoke the cigarette, you have to be pretty good at hockey to be smoking cigarettes in front of everybody. Don't get away with that shit without being good. Okay, so I don't know what. Let's see. When was the last time you guys saw each other, Keith? Or when did you see these guys last?
I saw Frankie and Mizey, but probably at Woody's at Haywood's testimonial.
Yep.
He's a future shed guy too. We just talked about it, but they got to play too many games coming up.
I saw Salters probably 4 years ago. He came to my wife's birthday. I haven't seen him since. He lives half an hour away.
Oh dear.
Salty. Oh man.
Yeah.
Must have been a shitty birthday party.
He's not one of those guys that like.
I was
He's
gonna
not
say,
one
that
of
must
those.
have been a shitty party.
No,
He's
it's
not
great.
one of those guys that becomes a cop or a fireman and then only hangs out with the cops and firemen.
That's what he does. Yeah, he won't come this side of the bridge to see me, but
Yeah, I know about the burbs, man. I live in the city. Why wouldn't he come over here?
What
He
does
settled
this side of the
down.
bridge mean?
I live out in Langley, so just on the other side, like there's a Portman Bridge. So like I live right beside Surrey, and then Salt lives in Vancouver.
Yeah, I've never been out there, so I don't know anything. So I
Yeah.
may sound really dumb if I talk about that stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
We don't see him, and then Roehl, I think I probably just when we probably played against you, maybe when you were in where were you? Manchester?
Manchester. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that would have been what, 6 years ago, 7 years
A
ago.
long time ago. It was 2014 when we played together.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Glory days. I'm coming out of retirement soon, boys. So keep your eye out.
Oh, me too.
You gonna sharpen them backwards this time or what?
Toledo walleye. I'm doing the scissor cuts. Doing the scissor cuts for the walleye.
The Swiss Army knife of the EIHL out there.
What's the scissor cuts?
Oh, that was the 3rd, 4th place game. I think I was on. Was I in 5? I think it was
You're
in
in
5
5.
against Brayhead playing Franco, and literally we got back to the hotel from the night out at 6:30, 7 in the morning. Bus left for the game at 8:15. And so just that whole game was a shit show.
Yeah.
And there's one period where it was just C cuts, did lift my blades from the ice the whole period. And like fans,
How'd you guys
tweeting
do in the
about it, like,
game?
this is disgusting. Guys aren't even taking strides out there. It
How'd
was
you
an
guys-
8-7 game.
Yeah.
7. 5-1.
I really enjoy the 3rd place game, but when I was in Cardiff and I was the pregame speaker, they blew the semifinals like 6-0. And then they like literally nobody drank, nobody went out, and like everybody was like so rattled the next game. Salts, you
They
played
really
it?
wanted 3rd place.
Yeah, they crushed these drunk
Wanted 3rd
boy.
place.
These guys from Fife were so crushed, and then Cardiff was all sober. It was a mess.
Oh man, it was embarrassing. That was my last game of professional hockey.
That was I remember you telling me that, Salts. That's brutal.
Embarrassing how you got to leave hockey in that disgrace of a game. Like
It
we
was
just
a
gotta,
disgrace.
they gotta get rid of that, man. Like
You either have to
talk
embrace
one,
it for what it is, or you have to get rid of it. You either have to show up totally crushed, or don't do it.
yeah.
It's the only option.
Did you talk one at least, Salt?
Oh no. I didn't have my line mates there to piggyback me the whole time.
Well, I guess
Salty,
that's another way is how we know each other, eh? Is my my charm and good looks stole Salts away from you after 2014-15.
Yeah.
I was showing him my stuff over there in Cardiff, and he wanted some, you know.
I was promised protection out there, so I figured Wally'd be that guy on the other side of the wing. So
That's true. I
Man,
did protect you a
Lordo,
bit.
Lordo wanted you so bad. I remember at the end of that season, that last season with you guys, I went to Luke Piggott's stag, went skiing with all those guys. And I remember parking up at a bar and Lordo pulled me aside and talked about you for a good hour nonstop, trying to get the
you should
inside
have
scoop
seen
about you.
you should have seen the night when we signed him. The rest of the team was gone and I was still there for school to finish at the MBA. And when Lordo signed Salts was like the one night I got to see Lordo for who he used to be. Like it was me, Lordo, and Hoth. We got to we really went after it because we signed Salts.
Here, I thought you were gonna say it was mid-season. I was like, "What the fuck, Salty?" Mid-season.
I don't think Salts ever wanted to leave you guys. I think that was the whole problem.
That's it.
He
No,
missed you
I
guys.
didn't want to leave. No, I didn't want to leave, but I had to
I
think about
remember-
the future.
I remember sitting in the tractor and I was seating, and Salty kept texting me. He's like, "Oh fuck, what do I do? What do I do?" I'm like, "Man, just because you obviously the schooling was key, right? So
Yeah.
you did that, but yeah, it kind of sucks. But I think it was probably the right choice.
Yeah.
What was your guys's last game in Brayhead that year?
Thinking
Which one? Which year?
mine was
We lost in the semifinals again for sure because we lost all 3 years in the semifinals.
Oh,
Okay,
see?
so,
Salty
yeah,
should have
let's
stayed,
hear
man.
this.
Could have been way better.
Keither, what that was your last game? Let's hear everybody's last game of professional hockey then. Let's do it. Keither, what was your last game of professional hockey?
I think
That'd be
we lost to Dundee.
Oh dear. That sucks.
I know.
That's sour.
Oh,
Yeah,
The Stars.
I think we went up there. We beat them 2-1 the first game, I think, or that might have been Hull. I don't know. We lost to Hull, Fife, and Dundee when I was in Brayhead. Fuck. I think they scored. Whoever it was, they scored right at the end of the game, and then it was basically like a win for them. And then it was just we played Dundee at home and we just lost 2-1 or 3-1 or something. That was it.
yeah. And then so did you know you were done? Like, did you know that was the end of her?
Yeah. But the way it is, you book your flights in that. When we were there, you'd always get your flights booked for after the playoff weekend.
He knew in January he was done.
Yeah.
January.
Had the tickets booked.
Yeah, so it was always like 9 days or 10 days after losing that we would have to hang around, and then you could finally fly home, right? But yeah.
Okay, next question, because the Sheds never met you, is where and what are you doing now?
I live, like I said earlier, in Langley, which is outside of Vancouver, and I'm a firefighter in Surrey.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, don't be like, so you guys are both firefighters, so you guys can hang out even if you're 30 minutes away, or do you only hang out with your department? Is that how?
No, I just don't see them. You know what? The last time I saw Salts, to become a firefighter, you got to like write these exams, right? Like most places have these exams you have to write. So I remember I was studying a lot, like trying, because I'm like, fuck, I really got to get on. I was really like putting a lot of pressure on myself. So a couple days before this test, I get a call from Salts or a text. And he's like, man, what are you even studying? Like, I don't even know what to study. And I'm like, and I got a text from another guy, Steve Van Oosten. He's like, hey, he's like, what are you even studying? And I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, fuck, both these guys, like, they're gonna have no idea what they're walking into for this written exam, right?
It sounds like Salts' questions about the NBA to me.
Yeah. Well, I'm like, oh, these guys are gonna be so unprepared. So I go and we go and write this test, and then me and Salts go for a beer after, and he's like, what do you think? And I'm like, man, that was brutal. I was like, whatever happened, they told you to start, and I just like, I don't know if I panicked or what, but I just knew walking out I didn't do well in the exam, right? And wouldn't you know it, Salts and the other guy both got hired. Out of like 500 people, they hired, I think, they hire 7 Salts?
They had 6 that year, yeah.
Yeah, both those guys get hired, and I'm thinking, I'm the one who's like studying, and I'm thinking I'm so prepared for this test, and I didn't get hired.
6 out of 500. That doesn't sound like very good odds, but good work, guys, that you're hired.
It was a crayon that I drew all my answers in that really stuck out.
Yeah. That's probably the last time I saw Salt.
That's impressive. Nice
Wow.
work, Schultz.
So, Salt, yeah, you're a firefighter too, right?
I am, yeah.
And another guy I should bring up while I got you back on was Pat Curcio, right?
Oh, Curdog.
Curdog.
I had a cup of coffee with Curdog.
Did you? Everybody knows the Curdog then.
Curdog's a
Oh,
man.
Pelican.
What a beauty.
Yeah,
what a solid guy, man.
he was a
lot
fun
of
trip to the shed.
Yeah, he's a solid dude. And,
Yeah.
he coached me my second last year in junior in London there, and we had a solid team, an unbelievable team that year, and it was pretty hard to.
So he said even in high school you were good looking, eh? I was hoping you went through an awkward stage or something. Horse shit. I was hoping there was some acne or something going on. It's horse shit.
Just the shitty pancreas, man. Just the shitty pancreas I have. That's the real downfall.
Yeah.
Hey, Wally.
Everybody's got to deal with something, Leigh.
I listen to all the episodes of guys I know or played with or against. If I have to listen to another little clip here of how hot Salts is, I'm about to leave this Zoom call.
Yeah. We'll just leave those two together. Fuck you.
And never come back.
Sorry. It is what it is. I had to hear about it from all the wives on the Cardiff Devils. It was ridiculous. How are you supposed to play hockey when all the wives are talking about this guy like that? Horseshit. You're telling me your wives weren't doing the same in Glasgow? You guys are nuts.
We actually
they made T-shirts with his face on it.
From each other.
Yeah, me and Mizey lived across the hall from each other. We had some
my dog would just come there and eat some food off the coffee table and come back and hang out.
Just an excuse for Mizey to come across the hallway to sneak a couple beers out of our fridge.
I'd wait for her to fall asleep, and then I'd tiptoe out of there, and then I'd shake her down across the hall, and the next day she wondered why I was so fucking tired on the day off. Because I was over at his place all night.
So you guys lived across the hall from each other in Glasgow.
Yeah.
That'd have been fun, eh?
Yeah.
And Scott Arson as well. I don't know if you remember him at all.
He was a good D man. Yeah. Left shot.
Junior and senior. Junior. Yeah, Scott was junior and Big Salts was senior. That's what we called him. And actually, we all lived in that same complex, so we actually had a lot of fun times. We got together in a lot of those places quite a bit over the course of the year. Frankie, you were in a different building though, right? But just down the way. Right?
Yeah, it's down the way.
Yeah, you remember this? I remember the Super Bowl party that year. The Seahawks were playing the Super Bowl, and Frankie was having a night. Remember that? I don't know if they won it, did they?
No, they lost. They lost on the last play of the game. That was the handoff pass play.
Yeah.
You're devastated.
Also, I was the only one with a kid that year. I was the only one that had a kid, so I got to go out like a handful of times all year. So when I went out, I just get blacked out and have no idea what happened the next day.
I don't know what
that's take care of a child.
Yeah. Yeah, I was the only guy with a kid in Cardiff when I was there. Fun year. Yeah, it's tough times. Yeah, getting up when you want to go out with everybody, right? You got to learn quickly that you just can't stay out late, right? You can go have fun, but you got to go to bed too.
Rayler, you lived like right behind me with Trimmer, right?
I was with Trimmer, yeah.
Yeah, you guys, yeah.
Fuck, I basically lived by myself.
Yeah.
That's all the guy on the way to practice. I was lucky to see him in the apartment on the way to practice, like leaving for practice or coming home from practice. It was like, whoa, hey, what's up, man? You're here. I'm just gonna grab my M&M or M&S snack and hang out in my room for the next 12 hours. See you tomorrow. Unreal. Yeah, that was great. Those are nice places.
I don't know Glasgow at all. I literally only know where the hotel was that we stayed at and then went to the arena. I don't know anything about it. So nice place though, eh?
Yeah, you missed out, buddy. It was a great spot.
Yo, sushi was big that year. That was a huge perk.
Or what was the other place? What was that Italian place we'd order in from? And there was like an Indian restaurant too.
There's Green Gate in this. That Italian place in Renfrew, right?
Yeah, that was a go-to spot, getting the pregame meals from.
You guys are asking all my questions already to yourselves. One of my questions was one of the best restaurants in Glasgow. So, well, keep going.
Yeah. No, that was good. That was good. It was a good little spot. That was a fun place.
You were there 3 years, eh?
Yeah.
And Roehl, you were there what? One?
That was kind of a one and done.
He was kind of always around. Didn't you play for like every team?
I used to I'd hang out in the summers and wait until something good came along and pack up. I didn't like to start my years in
Poor
August.
man, you got an
Fucking
extra month
July.
of boating season in, right?
Extra month of boating. I skated with the wings downtown, got a little exercise.
Lake St. Clair. Oh, yeah.
Threw some sauce,
You got to figure it out.
Zetterberg, all the boys. It was fun.
You got to figure
I
it
have
out.
some guys. Franco messaged me, "Hey, you want to come play? We're looking for a guy." Yeah, sure. I'll be there in a couple weeks.
Frankie, where and what are you doing now?
I'm in a town called Snoqualmie. It's about 30 minutes east of Seattle. And I'm a pharmaceutical rep. So I sell an antipsychotic right now.
That sounds fun.
That's fun. He gets to sample them every Sunday. This one work?
That actually sounds pretty friggin' cool there, Frankie.
That does. Yeah.
Yeah.
How did you get into that?
I mean, a lot of hockey guys get into medical sales or pharmaceutical sales. I know Scott Matska, when I was in Cardiff, he just got done with the MBA program. So he was kind of my mentor, and he was telling me about like med device and all that stuff. And he was from Kalamazoo, actually. So he knew about Stryker and all those guys. And he kind of got me into the idea of doing it. And honestly, like lifestyle wise, like my first year, I got into like an inside sales job where I was hitting the phones, cold calling, and I hated my life. I was so close to calling up Finner around November and just saying, fuck this, I'm going to play until, I don't care if I'm making $300 a week until I'm 55. I can't do this 9 to 5 stuff. But
that's tough,
man.
That first year.
Yeah, the pharmaceutical, the lifestyle is pretty similar to what a hockey guy lifestyle kind of used to be if you get your work done and get your numbers. So
yeah,
it's a good time.
Okay. Yeah, no, it's interesting what everybody all does. Mizey, where and what are you doing now? You got to hit the hay soon, eh? You might have an equipment run tonight.
Oh, I know I got one.
Oh, you do have one.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But I can't. I was just screwing with you. Of course, I had to see the boys for a while.
Yeah.
But I want to go back to something that's clicked in my head before I tell you what the hell I do. My last game.
I got sidetracked. Yeah, that was something we were talking about.
Where did I throw all my, and it actually come back to bite me in the ass when I opened up my hockey bag 2 years later and I went to use it. Where did I throw my gear out?
No, that was in Hull.
In Hull, right?
That was in Hull. You said you retired. That was it. You were done, and you fucking came back.
Threw all your shit in the trash.
Yeah, as I knew my wife was gonna have a bunch of shit to take home, and we needed my hockey bag, right? And it was right, but yeah. So 2 years later, I opened that thing up because some clients convinced me to play in this hockey tournament, and I had no fucking equipment in there. I didn't even look at the bag. No alpacas.
It's all clothes. It's just all clothes.
It's just a pair of
heels.
So you literally dumped out your equipment into the garbage can in the locker room, or what?
In Hull, yeah.
There was even a trash can in Hull. What do you mean?
Yeah, there actually was. Right in the middle of the room. Yeah, so I put some skates on, and I had to wear two like long leather boots, the shin pads. I just fucking taped them on my leg and I played. And then,
okay, so now where and what are you doing?
I'm into everything, man. I'm where do I start? I feed the world in the summertime and I heat the world during the winter.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. So you're farming and you're into
yeah, I'm
Power?
Yeah,
He's not
I'm
a
in-
fireman.
Power?
Yeah, fireman. Yeah, they don't think they would let me in there. But yeah, oil. Though I'm in the Canadian oil field, so we come in with these big trucks and rigs, and we truck it everywhere and drill it and frack it.
They
and
steal oil.
push it up, push it all over the world.
Huh.
So right, we just actually come out. We've been working in -40 conditions. It's been pretty shitty. So we got a cruise heading up tonight.
So it's nice to be in the shed for a little bit.
Yeah, it's nice. Yeah, we're on the day starts 3 a.m. We're on the road, so we're pretty busy. So I guess guys like myself gotta toe the line as well. Usually I'm the last guy out, so that usually shows that we're busy.
Well, if you're busy's good, right? In the
It is.
working world,
Yeah,
I think.
yeah, it is. So pretty happy about that. So I'll take it. But get to see the boys. Everybody looks pretty good.
Yeah.
So it's good to see you.
Hey, that's pretty cool how this all got organized, by the way. Salts and I were just talking about putting together a clan group, and then there's 2 Broncos, and it's Mizey's been on, and now I'm going to coerce this guy into a one-on-one meeting. I know I am. We're going to talk about it, right?
Hey, it's tough.
Ethan
I
loves to
can't-
talk about himself.
I can't lock him down.
It'll be
Well,
easy.
I send him messages. It says he's seen them. He just doesn't write back. And it's like, geez, I don't know what he thinks. I don't
That's
know if he's
fine.
into it or not.
I text Mizey twice. I text Mizey twice on WhatsApp I haven't talked to him for months on WhatsApp. I text him twice in the last 3 days. He's been online. He just hasn't opened them.
Well, I just fucking sent
That
you a
hurts
golf
too.
lead.
It all hurts. The
It does hurt.
scene and not right back though.
Yeah.
Gosh darn, that just
Yeah.
because there's a lot of guys out there I asked to come to the shed and it says scene and it's just like, oh, really? You're not even gonna say no?
And that guy's our captain. Can you believe that?
Are you what are you drinking? Is that a Dr. Pepper diet, Ether?
Ooh.
What is that?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, Sleemans.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Scared me there. I thought we completely lost you for a second there.
I haven't seen him, man. Like I said, I've been trying to lock this guy down for a beer in the last 3 years. And
Oh, Salts, I'm busy. I've been busy, Salty. We'll get it together here soon.
He's elusive, Wally. So just a heads up. He's
Okay,
elusive.
well, don't worry. I'm gonna coerce him in here no matter what I gotta do.
We better solve this, Wally. So when this meeting between those two actually happens, you should post that. You should post that on the podcast just to put a little pressure. These meatballs should get together if they live.
Yeah,
4
I'll
houses
see him.
down.
We'll see him. I'll definitely get out there and see him, or he could drive over here.
Oh, we gotta
Or
go.
else-
We gotta go down and see Frankie for a ball game. That's what we should do.
Well,
Yeah.
that's what we'll do. You know what we should do? We should do that, and we should do like a little podcast from like
Right.
at the ballpark with Wally.
With
Right.
Wally, there you go.
Now we're thinking. Now we're brainstorming. I like it. Yeah. No,
Or
I
just
just
go to
this
a
is
bar like
honestly
Grayling.
this is my favorite part of starting this whole freaking thing is like that like I can get guys back together that like maybe haven't seen each other or talked to each other. Like maybe these episodes with 5 or 6 guys are just an absolute shit show to listen to. Well, folks, I don't care. I didn't start this for you. I like seeing guys get back together, and I like doing it for myself. And I'm like, well, imagine if I can do it for other people too, right? Like it's fun, isn't it?
Yeah, I think Frankie, you came up here a couple years ago to go to Cowichan, didn't you? Or
Yeah, I played in that men's league tournament at the end of January on the island in
That's
Victoria.
right. Yeah, was that a couple years ago or
A couple of years ago. That was the last time I played any
Yeah.
hockey.
Yeah. How'd you get allowed? How are you allowed to do that? I thought you were banned from like
That's from-
or anything.
That's from USA Hockey. That was Canada.
Oh, okay. All right.
What'd you do, Frankie?
You're banned from USA Hockey.
I got a 1-year ban from USA Hockey because I played in a men's league, and we got a. There's
They
a lot
should
of
kill the
guys. Seattle's not like Canada or Michigan. Okay, so you get a lot of guys that maybe just pick the sport up, work at Amazon or Microsoft or something like that, and whatever they see on TV, they try out there. And I was losing my mind with one guy, and he kept driving the net on me. He dumped the puck in on the goalie and drive me into the goalie, and it was 12-1. We were winning. There was 4 minutes left, and he did again, and he was wearing a cage. So I threw him. I grabbed him. I threw a couple uppercuts. He went down. He was done, and then the refs came in, but then the refs were trying to get me down to the ice, and I had a bum knee. And so, like, I saw the one ref, he was about to slew foot me. So I planted my foot, and then the ref went down. And as soon as the ref went down, I was just like, oh my God, I'm being that guy now. Like, this is bad. So then I just stopped. But yeah, man, I got a 1-year ban because of that. I had to have a hearing. I couldn't
Knocked
coach.
out 2 refs. Yeah.
I couldn't
Knocked
coach
out 2
Jacks
refs.
anymore because that's USA Hockey, because that transfers in the youth sports.
So
that was the last time I played, because I was like, oh.
He's Ogie Oglethorpe, man. Modern day Ogie Oglethorpe. The guy's kicked out of leagues. And
so are you allowed to coach your son now?
Yeah, that was a few years back. I had a 1-year probation after that. I've cleared that. I'm good
Do you
to
know,
go.
Still got a little flag.
Do you guys
little
want to
flag
hear a
next to his
story?
name.
I know a guy that's been to the Shed. He got a 3-year ban from USA Hockey for calling a player a ginger. And he's a ginger.
3 years for that?
3 years. I'm not going to say who it was, but I think it's a funny story. Because I don't know, because I had like the guys on my hockey team in my shed, and like we just shot the shit like they were like you guys. And I don't know what we said or if anything was bad, but we had fun.
Wally, you probably didn't interview too many gingers, so it wouldn't be hard to find.
Oh, they're out there. Yeah. Okay. Well, I haven't really looked at my notes, so that's when I know I'm feeling it. So
Here,
I'm going to start
let me
with
give you
Mizey. I got to start with Mizey before the equipment run. Okay. And
Yeah,
what's
you
your
can
most
Mizey.
memorable night of 2014-15?
Fuck, what year was it? How long ago was that? What year is it now?
I don't know. That's the year you guys played together in Glasgow.
14, 15.
Like
There
with
was-
the clan, the guys you're talking to now that year, like any times with these guys that you might remember is like what I'm getting at.
I don't know. That's
I'm going to go to the next guy. You don't sound like you're ready for that question
No,
at all.
you just snowballed me.
Was
with
it you
that
that got hit by the car that year or no?
I got hit by the car.
Yes.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. By
Yeah.
an employee of the Brayhead clan. Not a skater. But that's when the back issue started to happen. So I
Could
think
be it.
yeah.
The hood
So
of that
you were
thing
like-
looked like it hit a deer or like
Yeah.
a moose.
And I rolled off the windshield of the car and like over the top of the like
Where
you
were you
really?
standing that you got hit by
Yeah.
a car?
it was
On the sidewalk. He was on the sidewalk in Renview.
yeah, allegedly.
Oh, no, yeah, but shit happens sometimes, right? As long as you learn, right?
Yeah. Should have been standing there.
Should have been walking on the sidewalk, man. Come on.
Oh gosh. Okay, so Salts, is that your most memorable night on the team, or
Oh man, I don't remember much about it. I'm just waking up a little sore. So we had a lot of fun nights, man. We had a lot of good times. I think we had like most of the guys would always come to our place for beers after kind of the
Halloween party was a pretty good one that year.
Yeah, we had a little that was a good time. Yeah, Halloween party.
Yep.
We had some big nights.
Halloween
How about
parties
the,
always the best because the start of the season before everything gets too stressful and everybody can just still get in the getting to know each other time, right?
For sure. Yeah.
I mean, Finner was always really good at making sure priorities were the guys started off with the bang, actually. So like he would give us the green light right at the start of the season. And that's when we all went golfing. And had a whole day of it. He gave us practice off. I remember golf course was a mess, but I remember by the end of the night we ended up at that Weatherspoons or something. And I remember at one point, like me and you, Salts, were just giving it to Andy, the front office dude, just making this dude turtle up for I don't even know if he deserved it. I mean, probably did, knowing that dude, but
Poor guy.
yeah, man, it
Poor
was don't hold my money.
Yeah.
But yeah,
While we're on the topic, though, I got to jump in there. Speaking of
JT.
Finner, is as your coach for you guys, like he's been to the Shed, and I didn't know him before, and that's what I like about the Shed is I've met a bunch of people, but that guy seems like a coach I'd want to play for. He seems like one of the guys that like has your back, but he also gets that at the start of the season, like you're saying, like the biggest thing is like getting to know each other and like becoming a team, and like then you'll do more shit for each other. But that happens that first month of the season, right?
Wow. And the thing is too, that we all got lucky is we kind of got the fuck out before it got too serious. Right now, I'm pretty sure they don't do what we did.
They don't do what we did.
No. But yeah, like there was a lot of real team building going on at the beginning, and he was the one that was saying we should do it. Right.
And you
One-
should. And
And
I would say
100%.
the
That's
same
what-
thing as a coach.
That's why we all went over there towards the end anyways, is because, you know, you got to have a little bit of fun playing, and it was a hell of a time.
Yeah,
we had
that
fun.
was probably that year was probably the last year that it was like that, right?
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
And the
but like,
next year it was kind of, you know, nothing.
It started changing more. It
Yeah,
started
no.
changing more in Cardiff for Salts and I, right?
Well,
Yeah,
nothing against some of the guys they brought in, but it was like that year we kind of had a group of guys that like nobody cared where you were before or where you came from. We just were all a team.
Yeah.
And then we made the Champions League, and it was like they brought in some guys maybe with some bigger resumes and maybe thought that things were going to be a certain way, that then that just wasn't the way it worked, right? And we just had a good group of guys before it, and that kind of changed. And I think that's probably just the way it is, I guess, right? Like that's just the way it goes. But that team we had, that 2014-15 we had a lot of fun. Yeah.
I seen that coming. That's why I had to just get out, boys. You know, I didn't mean to leave you behind, but
It really does sound like the Cardiff Devils, though. Like the 2014-15 season was just like the most beautiful train wreck you've ever watched. But then the next season, like everything just got way more serious. And I was watching it as the pregame speaker, but like people weren't having as much fun playing. And then I go back 5 years later, and then I saw what it's like now, and it's like, this doesn't even look like that much fun at all.
Changed, eh? I remember too, like I remember like having the year before with Finner, and like, you know, it was always a green light, right? And if it wasn't, it was, you know, kind of an optional at all times to show up and kind of play. And then I remember having a beer the next year at the airport on an off day and getting a team fine from Lordo for having a beer at the airport. Like I didn't know where I was. I thought it was in like bizarro world, man. I had no idea what was going on. I've gotten shit for having a beer at the airport and a team fine. Like it didn't make sense. It wasn't kind of the atmosphere that you want to be at.
The league you thought you were playing in.
I mean, no offense, but
I remember that first year, and we played, that team from Italy came the first two games, like for an exhibition, and it was all, none of us knew each other, and we all kind of just got there, and I just remember like this team had paid all this money probably to come up and play us, and there was a bunch of guys, we all probably knew guys on the other team, and I think the second game, Finner started Frankie at forward for like the third or second period or something, right? And it was just, but it wasn't like anything malicious or anything, but it was just like, that's, you kind of got the sense right away that's how Finner was going to coach, and that's kind of the way the team was, right? And we had a really tough team that year too, right? When you look back, with Frankie and Fitzy and even Roehl would fight quite a bit. Had a good fight with
Price is right.
Yeah. Yeah, that was just kind of the way. That was kind of the way Finner coached, and it was kind of the way the fans seemed to like the way that's how we played.
Well, Keith, you left the part out too that Frankie ran the goalie that shift, and
yeah.
Forgot about
That's because I knew.
Do you want to know one thing? Like, Frankie, you've had a band now from USA Hockey. Do you know you're one guy? Okay, I
banned
love
from
you.
every league.
Okay. I love you. You know, I do. But when we played hockey against each other and I saw the look in your eye, I was like,
Yeah.
that dude, for like his friendships and like being buddies with dudes, that guy should probably retire. Like he shouldn't put on skates anymore because I didn't really enjoy playing hockey against him. And I'm not even sure if we're still friends because that was crazy. You know, that was the first time we played each other. And then I was like, well, if this is the way it is, then I'll stick you in the nuts too. You know, like let's.
You know what? To Frankie's defense, man, like he was a pretty honest guy. Like when I was not,
He was honest, and it was a show.
Like, you know what I mean?
I know.
Like we never got into it. He never did anything dirty. It was.
He only suplexed me
Don't
once.
poke the bear. Yeah, just like don't do anything stupid to him, and he's not going to scare you in the throat, right? Like,
oh, he was trying to scare me. He was trying to let me know when I got to the UK that he owned me, and I was like, I am not being owned, bitch.
Wally, I was being nice to you the last
you cross-checked
little
me
interview.
In the face the first shift.
You come through. Okay, Salts, you probably saw us all the time. Wally's notorious for either the reverse shoulder or he'll come through when he's forechecking and do this little undercut thing to guys, like to D-men. And I remember you came through and you get low. I don't know if it's just because you're shorter, so you're already.
I get the barrel down to the
this
ice.
Little undercut thing. So I felt
all he's got is the undercut.
You know what I mean? So then I got a little squirrely.
I get the barrel right down to the ice. You can't stop it. That
it's an anchor, right?
Yeah.
Franco, thank you. What's your excuse for running me 2 weeks into my freshman year at college and dislocate my shoulder for no reason?
Chris, would you like to answer?
All of you boys will understand. Okay, first off, railer comes in being railer. Okay, everybody, 99% of the guys that are brand new to railer are gonna hate him for the first couple of weeks until you get to know that dude. Okay, once you get to know him, you love him to death. He's the man. You just got to get to know him. But he came through. And he's stick handling between his legs. He's flipping it up as he's going down. He's all the stuff he's doing. He's running his mouth like he does. And so I just got tired of him, and I just tried to run him through the boards. That's all, just to send a message. But I think I missed most of you anyways. I ended up hurting myself.
Just took his shoulder out.
Three shoulder surgery since.
So I guess since I got both of you on, we should talk about this. So like, I was one of Chris's mentors at Western Michigan. And then you were one of Railers, right?
Yeah. I mean,
I thought I taught you a lot about being a pro and working hard, right?
You taught me a lot about having fun for sure. And working hard on the ice, but having fun off the ice. But
that's how I live my life.
I think the last poison class of WMU got out of there 4 years after you guys, and that's when they started winning, man. So I don't know. That was a pretty big losing record my entire 4 years.
Well, sorry for teaching you the wrong ways. You know, my bad. Did my best.
I had a great time. It's great for you.
We sure did. Yeah, I did too. Yeah. Okay. Keither, just in case if you dodge me next time, what was it like playing your first NHL game? Did you get the call or did you make it out of camp?
No, I got called up. It was awesome. It was kind of a weird situation. I got one of my teeth knocked out in practice, and they had to wait for my gum to heal before I could go get it fixed. So a little while later, we had a couple months later, we had a team workout in the morning at the rink, and I had a dentist appointment. So I called the trainer and said, "Hey, can I come work out early?" I got a dentist appointment. So I went, and when I went there, the GM and the head coach were just kind of like hanging around and saying saying weird things to me, asking me what I was doing the rest of the day. And I was kind of like, why are these guys hanging around? It was kind of weird. Right. So they let me get in the car to go to the dentist to get my teeth fixed from the rink in Norfolk. And right as I was leaving, the GM called and said, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm going to get my teeth fixed." He goes, "Well, you got two options. You can go get your teeth fixed finally, or you can come back, grab your gear. You're playing in Philadelphia tonight."
Oh.
So
Teeth
turn around.
waited. Yeah.
Yeah. And by that time I went back to the rink, grabbed my gear. All the guys were there. And one of the older guys in the team had cut all my sticks. I took three sticks with me and he went and cut them all in the shaft. So I went out for warm-ups and all my fucking sticks were broken. I kept snapping the sticks. So I was panicking between warm-ups and the start of the game, trying to get a stick made up to.
This is your first NHL game?
Yeah.
Who did that?
Marty Wilford, great guy.
He did that. And this is an NHL player that did that, or an AHL?
AHL. Yeah. Yeah.
That
Yeah, he was a great guy. He was just messing around with me, right? Like giving me, it was awesome. Yeah.
I remember Marty, the defenseman, right?
Yeah. Yeah. He knocked my tooth out. And there was 3 of us sitting in a dressing room at training camp one year in Chicago. And one guy, Jeff Hamilton, I don't know if you guys remember that name. He had like 50 goals in the American League one year, and Marty Wilford took his eye out with his stick. And then Patrick Sharp, he knocked his teeth out with his stick too. And all of us were sitting beside each other. We're like, what the fuck is Marty?
So is that a superstitious thing, Keither, that you didn't get it fixed? Because it still wasn't fixed in Glasgow.
Yeah.
Well, they're still not fixed too.
I was gonna say, who is your line mate for that game? Larmer? Makita?
Yeah, Makita, Stan Makita. No, fuck. It was. I'm trying to think. I think it was Scott Nickel and.
Hey, but the only thing I gotta say, I just remembered what I was gonna say now is when your sticks break in warm-ups, and like I've talked to some younger guys now in the shed, I've talked to different people. The players nowadays, they wouldn't be explaining the story the same way you are, where you're like, no, he's a good dude, he's just messing around. Like your 3 sticks break in your first NHL game. Yeah. I don't think those kids are going to be able to handle it the same and be able to adjust and still be able to play that night.
Yeah. Well, it was just Marty being Marty. They were just playing like a little prank. It was a pretty cool thing, right? And you're obviously nervous and you're panicked and.
No, the playing NHL game's cool. Your sticks breaking aren't that cool. No. I don't think.
No. But all the guys had come to the rink by the time I got back, and they were just kind of just messing around. So that was good.
Oh man, no, it must have been quite the time playing in the NHL. Maisie, I guess you did that too, out of the 6 of us. Way to go, guys.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. What was your favorite road trip in the EIHL? Start with Salts.
Favorite road trip? Oh God, man.
Like town or time, I don't care what. Just making questions up.
I think Belfast, man. Because we had some time over there, right? We'd take the boat ride over there. That was always a shit show, right? We get getting seasick on the way over there, taking the ferry. And I don't know, it was always good to go over there and spend some time over there. I think that was always fun for me anyways.
Okay. And they got the Titanic thing there by the rink. That's cool, right? The kids were just watching the Titanic the other day. I'm like, I saw where they built that shit. You know,
they got the black cab ride there. That's a pretty cool experience too. If anybody's ever been that one.
What's that?
It's like the kind of more of a historic, like just tour through town, just kind of give the history of the wall in the center of town and kind of the history there. It's
I never got to do that. Lordo must just not let me. Okay, Maisie.
Honestly, it clicked in right away, so I know this was my favorite thing. I loved playing in Edinburgh, and after the game, just rushing out of there and running across the parking lot to that bar. You guys remember that?
See how many pints you can get in before the bus is leaving. Boom, 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 boom.
And it was good because you sweat a bunch, and if you drove them in, it was quick hit. And I don't know why that. When I think about that right away, I loved usually play a game in Edinburgh and just fucking sprint to that place across the street there and just hammer as many as I can before they kick me on the bus. I think that was probably one of my favorite trips. And it was only an hour down the road.
They used to do that in Fife, like because Fife used to feed the away team after the game and give them
Yeah, and the
drink
bar too.
tickets.
Yeah.
The pies,
Yeah.
the meat pies at the end, right?
Yeah.
And the
And
curry
then they
and
stopped
chips.
doing that.
Meat pies, and then you got to sneak around the arena for your deep fried Snickers.
I love playing in Fife, man. Fife could have been my favorite place to play.
It
That
was
was a-
awesome.
Just the jungle,
nice
man.
bar.
Like
Oh,
it was incredible. I love playing there.
And
To
when
be
they
fair,
come out
though-
with like kilts on and everything, right? With the
Oh, they're kicking,
bagpipes.
they're kicking Finner. There's no glass behind the coach's bench. They're just kicking Finner during the whole
Ruthless.
game. There's like
Ruthless.
90-year-old ladies in the crowd
Spitting on ya.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just-
calling you a big pussy.
yeah.
I remember one game I got kicked out of that, and I went up. It was pretty early on, so I went up top to the mezzanine behind the glass, and I was talking because it was in between intermissions, and there was a 13-year-old kid walking by, and he points up to his friend, gets his friend's attention, points up to me, and so I thought he was gonna be like, "Oh, look at it, it's Frank, it's Frank." So I waved to him, and he goes, "Fuck you, Frank." Like, right on. All right.
I had a relative that came. We'll call him Cousin Crotch because that's how everybody knew him over there. And he's a year or two older than me, and he took the fan bus up to Fife, and he had quite a few drinks on the way there. And he gets there, and he goes to sit in his seat, and someone had ripped it off and chucked it down the stairs, so he didn't have a seat.
No.
He looked at the guy had ripped the seat off and threw it down the stairs, so he didn't have a seat. So the whole game, I kept seeing him. He was standing terrified up against the pillar. I was like, "What the fuck are you doing by that pillar?" He's like, "Man, I ripped the seat off."
Yeah.
It's unreal.
I don't remember that place being packed though until, and I could be wrong, but when I was in Cardiff, I don't remember that place being packed. When I was in Sheffield, I don't remember that place. It wasn't until I got the Bray
I think it
House.
was like 2013,
Gong show.
first year there.
Great
13.
bar.
Oh, when you were there?
Yeah, it's a big year.
In fact,
They were ruthless.
I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure they only just put glass, because my first year in Cardiff, I don't think they had glass from the top of the circle, like hash to hash on the other end.
The whole penalty side didn't have glass.
Yeah.
From like hash mark to
Yeah.
hash mark.
From hash mark to hash mark, there's no glass.
There was no glass, because I remember
No.
Matt Siddle was playing my first year when I was in Cardiff, and I went to go run him real quick, and he sidestepped me right at the end. And the boards are pretty high, and I went in with my forearm like this, and I swear I almost busted my forearm. And I mean, for the next 4 years, that was the last time I threw a hit if it wasn't within our own zone behind the goal line. I didn't ever hit again after that.
I remember the last time I ever trash talked. I trash talked what was in the East Coast my rookie year. And then I ended up at the guy's house, and he was giving me a beer, and he said, "Do you really not think I should be on the power play?" And I was like, I'm never going to talk mean to anybody on the ice ever again. Because then he was giving me beers. I'm like, "Oh, you're a nice guy, and I thought you really should have been on the power play. I was just trying to be mean. I don't know why." I gotta stop. That was the last time I trash talked.
Yeah, I got a few more memories for you, Wally,
Okay.
from that season. Another
Hey.
memory I had was when Belfast got Westgarth, and Westgarth came over at the end of the season, and that guy did not care at all. At least when he played against us,
He didn't
had
want to
two
try
fucks.
very hard or fight.
All he did was throw sauce pass,
Didn't
like
give
ridiculous
a
sauce passes that never got on the
Perimeter.
tape.
Put on the perimeter too. He was
Yeah.
scared.
He was
But
a player.
He would take runs at Salts. He took 2 runs at Salts full speed, and Salts laid him out both times. Laid him out, and I was like, "Oh, I don't know how this is gonna go." Because I remember Fitzy said Westgarth's the only guy that ever like punched him so hard that he didn't know where he was. He thought he was in trouble when he got hit by him with the uppercuts. And so Salts lays him out, and I thought for sure enough he was gonna go, but I don't think he wanted to fight whatsoever. So when he felt the Salts wrath, the He was like, I'm not making enough money to fight this guy. So there was that. I remember.
I wasn't making enough to fight him either. So
good point.
Fun fact for the pod is that Ice Guardian show, I think it's called, or whatever it is. I remember the time when Westgarth hadn't done anything. He hadn't tried. I'd watched him played against him, and then he was like the extra forward in the playoffs or whatever. But Hockey Night in Canada came over, or the Ice Guardians, or that movie. Holy moly, mute him. Am I in charge of this? Anyways.
Do a shot.
But the Hockey Night in Canada's there, the Ice Guardians movie, whatever, is there, and then we play Westgarth, and then all of a sudden he like is just fighting people for no reason. I was like, he would beat up Hendo, and like we had another guy get injured because of Hockey Night in Canada.
The monster.
Being there. Right. I'm like, well, why are you doing this? Because the cameras are here. Like, you're either doing this or you're not. Like, don't be fake.
Didn't he break
Right?
Hendo's helmet? Like,
That's what I mean. Yeah. Hendo
Yeah.
was part of it, and Chris Culligan. I remember Chris Culligan got hurt. Something happened. He did something to Cully, who's just a skill guy. And then Hendo has to jump in and like try and fight Kevin Westgarth. And it's like, this is all because the cameras are here. And then all of a sudden it's all on the show. So
I do remember hearing about that.
yeah, but he wasn't doing much the rest of the time. But sorry, Kevin, if I'm hurting your feelings right now, don't come to the shed and, get upset.
Well, I don't know if you boys
Just the way
remember
I
that.
saw
Well,
it.
I'm sure you boys remember, but the Fitzy knockouts that he had that season were just like
That year. Oh man.
only Brett Gallant's another man that I've ever seen punch someone that hard where you hear it through the arena, but he did that like 3 different times. The guys,
The Bois guy.
Fitzy knocking people out.
Every
think 3
time
guys.
he hurt guys. Oh, was he ever mean that year? It was crazy.
Then these are also guys that like want to fight him or are willing or what?
Well, Grimaldi was just poking the bear, and he just did. He shook his gloves at him. I'm pretty sure he shook his gloves when he was in Edinburgh, and Fitzy just grabbed him. He thought he wanted to fight him, so he grabbed him and just threw 2 shots, and that guy went down. I don't remember the guy in Sheffield.
That guy could be the worst fucking teammate of all time, and I'm just throwing out there right now is
I've heard
Grimaldi. That's the guy who took off his helmet and threw it at the guy in Nottingham when he was there too that same year. Do you remember that?
Yeah, you played with him in Nottingham, didn't he? Because he was in Nottingham.
Oh yeah, he was a different character. I don't even care. He could listen to this, and he's a fucking terrible teammate. Yeah, he was just not a good guy.
Some people aren't that nice. One thing I'd say about Fitzy though is with Frankie, I was little, right? And you guys would try and do your thing. But I remember with Fitzy, like he came into the corner and I did do the like reverse hit on him, right? And I wasn't sure it was him. And then once I did it, and he just said, "Did you just fucking Jack in the Box me?" And I was like, he goes, "I fucking love it." And then he left me alone because I tried to do that to him. And I was like, "Well, I respect you too."
He's an animal, man. He's an animal. He's a different breed for sure.
You guys remember this? We're in Dundee and everybody wanted Brad Plumpton's blood, right? So I don't know what ended up happening or whatever. So we're out for warm up. There's no referees on the ice, and I'm not going into any detail whose idea this was or whatever, but you have Fitzy, Salts, Frankie. Warm up hasn't even started, and we're already over the red line trying to kill Plumpton, and there's no referees. And I'm like, oh fuck, here we go. All of a sudden, you look out of the corner, and of course, it's my buddy Toby Craig. He's still in his ginch and his fucking coveralls from work or fucking hanging out. He's got one skate on, no helmet, blowing the whistle. And he's lucky. That would have been an all-out match. Like, that would have been ugly if he hadn't come out there. Like he hadn't even had his fucking skates tied up because he had to rush out of there. I didn't know why they weren't out there.
The best slash
Comes
worst
out, what
part.
happened?
I think the best slash worst part, if you rewatch the video, when all that's going on, there's like a little 6-year-old Matt like sponsor kid skating back and forth on the red line in between all the stuff that was going on. Guys are just throwing daggers in the pile. I'm pretty sure Roehl was in there daggering, and
I'm pretty sure I was protecting the kid. If you look back on it, it's like look at Roehl protecting the little mascot out there. What a guy!
I tell you though, when we did come up to play you guys, or when you guys came to Cardiff, like we knew it was going to be a full out, full go. She was going to be a full go.
oh, you guys had a lot of guys yourself that would go.
Yeah.
I mean, you had the Martins and all the skill, but you had some big hitters, tough dudes.
Oh yeah,
It was
no,
fun.
those games
But it
were
was.
like it was really fun playing you guys. I actually really enjoyed it. Like that
What
way
about
more
in-
than
what
playing
about in
Fife
Cardiff?
or not Fife. I'm talking about like Dundee. What are they? The Stingrays or what were they called? Hull. Those teams were not fun to play, but playing you guys was fun.
You know what
Was
though,
it in-
Wally? One night, this team, like this group, we flew in early, and we went out and we had a hell of a night, and we went in and we beat the piss out of you guys the next day.
In Cardiff.
You guys
Hey,
remember that
yeah.
night?
Yeah, that was.
So
a
it's
fun time.
Spinner's idea. Like we got to get
Yeah.
there early. Boys,
Whose
gotta get
idea was
rest.
that?
I think it was early in the season, wasn't it?
Got there early. We're like, fuck, dude, we're here at 6 o'clock. Let's go out. Let's have it out.
Yeah, I remember that. We went there a day early to get the partying out of the system.
And we won too. We went
Yeah.
there and we.
I
What
was-
time did
that
you
was-
guys have to be back at?
Oh, we were all in bed early.
That's all. Green light,
We
man.
weren't out. We weren't out.
Green light.
Just what we told. Just what we told Andy and Gareth or Garth, whatever his name
Garth.
was.
Garth. Oh, man.
Benner didn't care. He just wanted, as long as you showed up and did your job, he didn't care what.
Well, and
That's-
that's the way it should be. And I know he's be different now, right? Like he wouldn't be
Right,
able
right.
to do that. But I don't know, like we're a different breed, right? Our generation of like, yeah, if you go out, do that, maybe you're actually gonna play better the next day because like you feel bad.
And the best
I
part
can
about that year
100%
too is
guarantee you that I would not play better right now. Not a chance.
I don't even want to
Not a
play.
chance.
uh,
You can't even get up and go to work now, let alone.
Was it Greyhead versus Cardiff when I cleared the puck off a face-off and hit a ref in the neck and took him out
That was.
Oh yeah,
in Cardiff? It was like seconds before a ref
Hit him in
was
the
like-
net?
So, dude, no, in the neck. So seconds before there was
right.
a scrum in front of the net, and this ref was like in my face, breaking up me and the other guy, whoever it was. You can't touch me. You can't touch me. What do you do? And like I was just steaming, right? Like so, face off, O zone or D zone. I was the winger coming through to my D. Puck just spits out to me, and I just hammered it off the glass. This ref was skating up the wall, hit him in the back of the head. Just down on the ice, stretchered off. They pulled a guy from the stands who just had 4 pints first half of the game.
I think I did play in that game now that you
And I
mentioned
was
that.
getting like tweets.
And I think
got
I knew the
tweets
guy
on,
that
like,
came in. I think
you
the
did
guy
this
that
to
came
ref,
in to
like-
be the linesman had played in the charity golf tournament with me like a week before.
Lines up. He's like, "Hey man, slow the game down. I've had 4 pints up top. Like, don't do nothing crazy."
And then Chris Franks suplexed me and he's like, oh, better get involved.
That was wild. That was
better
wild.
get
I had
involved.
we had a nice brawl in front of the net there, I think, too, that game. It was like a
I
good
think that's when he
double melee.
suplexed me. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I went after Lordo pretty quick.
I was trying to dip and dodge him like to get to the shed like some people do, right? And then- yeah.
that was the game where every one of us were just losing it on Lordo for some reason. Because I remember we came back, we came from behind because we got behind
Yep.
early on.
Yep.
We battled hard, like from 3 down to go to OT. And then I remember in OT, something was going on, and I baseball 2-handed Lordo in the back of the legs, and I got a penalty, and you guys scored and won the game. And I felt horrible. And I was pretty terrified of what everyone was going to say. And I just remember we stopped into the bay at Cardiff Bay to go to Domino's and got our food real quick, got on the bus. Salsa was the first one on the bus because I hadn't really made eye contact with anybody yet. I remember Salsa just looked at me, I was like, Franco, I would have been pissed off at you, but it was Lordo, so I didn't give a fuck.
Then he signed with him.
No,
long
yeah. Well, I forgot we had Smitty that year too. He was a fucking another guy who was top.
Oh, what a
Yeah.
great guy Smitty was.
Smitty. Smitty.
Jeff Smith. He was a guy who was like 6'8" or something like that, and like
Jeff
290.
He
Yeah.
he used to
Good
go,
Saskatchewan boy.
yeah, he found a lady like with a bakery, and he'd go bake with her.
Right.
No way.
Yeah,
He'd bring in like treats for the guys, wouldn't he?
Yeah. Because he like loved baking, and he just fucking went and baked with this lady at a bakery.
Everybody's
And
in a
That's
different
he
shit,
wouldn't
right?
drive. He'd sit at your house, Salty, and he'd drink with the boys, and then he'd walk 3 miles back to the
That's
hotel.
right. He would.
Yeah.
He lived in Glasgow too. They lived like downtown, didn't he?
Wow.
Yeah, it was crazy. He loved walking. He walked everywhere.
He was a big
Fuck,
guy.
his legs were fucking 7 feet long.
Yeah, there's some really good days in that year if you look back.
Wow.
Well,
Ashton Lane was always unreal.
How about when we had to check in
What's
and
that?
go to
Oh, yeah.
workouts? What was it? What was David Lloyd's?
Yeah.
We-
No,
we had
no,
this-
no. It was,
Fitness, what the hell was that called?
David Lloyd's.
no.
There was that like 3 Fitness, or what was it? It was like a yellow. All I know was yellow. and
Yeah.
black. We
There
had
was
some
2 places.
suicides the one day.
You were
Either
always
way,
in the
we
hot tub at David Lloyd's, eh? We were at the gym.
No, we played tennis. We never
Tennis.
worked out. We just had to go
That's
sign
right.
in. So that
Yeah, that was David Lloyd.
Your
Finner would
workout,
check to sign in.
hold on, slow down. I'm the host of this. Okay. This is my show. Okay. Did you just say that your workouts were playing tennis?
Well, there's a sign-in sheet, like every player's name, and you get your signature. So the coach or whoever looked at it, whenever, would see it. But we would just go and all meet at the tennis courts. There's probably 3 guys that actually went and worked out. Neil Trim, get on the bike. Everybody else, we were full-out tennis tourney.
Yeah, it's
2
funny.
on
They
2.
had
Tennis is a fun game. It's almost as fun as pickleball. Have you guys
That
played
was the best
pickleball?
workout.
Yeah, I played pickleball.
Yeah.
Pickleball.
Keith has played
It's
pickleball.
a seniors game. That's why you guys are fucking playing it over
No,
there.
we
Oh, so it's easy. Till you try it, don't knock it because it's better than tennis.
All I
Tell
know
you
is
that for
my
free.
parents play it and they're in their mid-60s. That's all I know.
Yeah, we play it at work. It's huge at work. Guys love it.
Yeah, and I used to play hockey at 20. Does that look like a good idea now?
It's more your speed now. You got it.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Pickleball's
You can still
awesome.
do it.
It's like you're running around playing ping pong, right? Like I don't know.
It's
And
a giant
it's
ping pong.
it's
Oh,
fun.
we had
You
some
can spin
ping
it
pong.
and everything, Lee.
We had some ping pong.
We did
battles. Dude, that
ping
was a
pong
big thing.
battles.
I got to get back on track here, okay? I think maybe. Here we go. We're going to start with Keither. Still trying to convince him into my one-on-one time, okay? Favorite food, because you play in a lot of countries. What country had the best food? Don't worry, guys. It's not paused. He hasn't said anything yet.
Maybe, I mean, probably Austria, I guess. I mean, I like the food in
Were they getting
Scotland.
schnitzels up in you?
Yeah, but I actually honestly I really like Scotland.
What were they doing?
pie.
Not those scotched eggs and shit. What?
Pub
Yeah,
food.
what'd you like about
Yeah.
the Scottish food?
Yeah. What?
Fish and chips and everything.
Steak pie from the butcher, man. You get a frozen steak pie.
That's
Takes an
right.
hour to bake.
Remember, Huey
Steak pies are
I think
nice.
his name was. Yeah,
Yeah,
Great.
those things are unreal.
I went in there
Very-
one time,
very
and
good.
my mom and dad are from there, and I went into this butcher, and I was like, hey. He took the first time I went in there, he took me in the back and he's like, oh, this is how I make them. And he had them all frozen. And so the next time I'm telling my dad came over and I'm like, oh, Dad, this guy is such a nice guy. He's such a good guy. You got to come in and meet him. So I go in and the guy was fucking miserable. Like wouldn't even talk to us. And I'm like, hey, so how long did I have to cook this for? And he's like, I don't know. He's like, put your oven on, put the steak pie in, put your finger in the middle. If your finger gets burnt, it's good. I'm like, oh, okay, good. And he was just like, that was it. Like, that was just the way. He's like, that's how you know it's ready, right? It was awesome. There's Huey McHuey's right beside all those restaurants there in Renfrew.
Yeah, I know.
Awesome.
That's where I used to go.
Yep,
Because all you boys would get together after games, right? After you leave the locker room. But my would we play home games on Saturday or Sunday? I don't remember.
Yeah, Friday.
Saturday. So yeah, you guys get together. I just try to hang out as long as I could, drinking in the locker room with Mizey until Mizey would go home. And then I would go home, and I look forward to the hanging out with the wife and Jax while my steak pie would cook. That was my evening.
I totally get that, because my evenings were the BBT was like play you guys, go to that little bar at the end of the rink, and then my night would be drinking with the other team, the guys I knew. They would leave on the bus, and then I'd drink with the fans until it was time to go home. And then I'd go home, and the rest of the team would go out, and I would be home with the kids for the morning, right? And that's your fun night out.
The BBT, for as brutal as it was
awesome.
Was fun. It was fun. It was a lot of fun.
I don't
especially
know.
Afterwards.
It was as brutal as it was fucking awesome.
And Cardiff was unreal. I mean, that was one of my favorite cities. Glasgow is like a Cardiff city center, just way more spread out was the problem. It was way bigger.
It's not as, you can't like walk around Glasgow as much.
It's not as easy. I don't know. Stultz, you were there too. What do you think?
Yeah, I think you're more, if once you're downtown in Cardiff, you're downtown, right? Like you can get down, and we were a little further
hard
out
to
too.
park though, that's for sure.
Yeah, it wasn't so easy for us to get downtown, I felt like, as it was in Cardiff.
Apparently they're living downtown now. Like the players live downtown.
People are getting killed downtown in Glasgow the year we were there. It was the Brexit year. Finner's like, guys, nobody go downtown tonight. Like, there's a big surge. Next morning, 3 people killed from riots. We didn't really go down. We were in Renfrew most of the time. We didn't venture out Glasgow. I feel like
one thing I got to say about your coach, because I never played for him and I didn't know him till he came to the Shed, is I always would want to play for a guy like that. He seems to get it. He seems to get that, like the start of the season, you got a bond, and then you become a team, and then you go through the season and like you work your way. But like the start of the season means a lot, and you also got to have your fun along the way to stay a team, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think the best part about Finner was that he gave us some incentive too, right? He was like, if we swept the weekend, it was mandatory 2 days off, no question, right? It was always the first 2 days.
I forgot about those.
And it was
little carrot at the end of the stick, eh?
And when we're playing Edinburgh and Dundee every on a back-to-back on the weekend a couple of times a year, like we had a lot of those, right? And I think the first majority part of the year we were getting 2 days off most days or most weeks, right? So and you know how to treat the guys, and it was
those 2 days off were nice. Those were that was.
You still want to be one of the whipping boys.
The 2 days off is a whole different experience, right? Because the 2 days off is you get the night after the game, but then the boys aren't that worried about the next day. So then things get tangled up the next day, and then you become a team. And then all of a sudden it's like, holy shit, I know where you're from. I know who your sister is. I know who your brother is. I know who your parents are. And it's like, holy shit, we're a team now. Oh my gosh. We might try even harder next game.
Damn straight.
Yeah, that's kind of the way I look at hockey, but what do I know?
Well, I like playing with Finner, man. Like I got a lot. One of the best years was there too. So you just kind of knew how to hang with the guys, I think. And I had a lot
fun fact, since he had been in the Shed, I wrote to him. I'm like, hey, like I know it's 4 a.m. like over there. I'm like, but the fellas are coming on. I'm like, you got any questions for him or anything? And like, in my experience in the Shed is there's good people in hockey who aren't scared of anything and, are willing to chit chat, or there's douchebags. And Finner wants to come on. He wanted to come on. He's like, what time are you starting? And I'm like, 4 a.m. your time. He goes, well, I got 2 kids and there's going to be a lot going on, but like legit, he could zoom in here any second right now because he's into it. He wants to be here. And it's because he's a good dude. He's a good coach, right?
Yeah, he would jump in
That's
on that, 2-on-1s, get a sweat every day. Let the boys know he still had it. Depending on his night
Was
before.
he a player?
Oh yeah, yeah. He played quite a few years. He was good. He was a good player.
I knew he played, but like, was he good?
Oh yeah.
Marchand. He was the Marchand of the UK, wasn't he? Brad Marchand of the UK. No.
Was he licking people?
Crickets.
Was he
Well,
licking
well,
people?
He's from an hour. He's out from an hour down the road where I'm living right now, and you better be tough to get along over there in Lethbridge. So I think he was a little bit nasty, but hey, he probably had to. He probably walked down the street there. You're in a fight, so I'm sure he fit in pretty good there.
So how'd you guys end up in Glasgow? Leigh, I'll start with you. How'd you sign in Glasgow? Was it Finner?
No, I was there. I was in Nottingham the year before, so I got over there in Nottingham from my buddy Brent Henley. He played over there, and I played with him in Florida the year before. He was a monster of a man. He just a good buddy of mine. And then after that year, I was kind of on the side. I was thinking about going over, try my hand in Germany, or just see what else is going on in the rest of Europe. And then Scott Arson, a good buddy from my hometown. So
yeah, I want to coerce him into my shed. If I had a team, he'd be a guy I would have signed. He looked like, I always liked him as a player.
Yeah, it was great. And we played junior together and we're good buddies. And in London, he kind of, let's go have some fun. And he kind of brought me on and kind of convinced me to do it. So happy I did it.
Yeah. Okay. So it was Arson that got you there. How about you, Roehl? Was it Frank the Tank here?
Frank the Tank. They were itching to get me over from Fife. Stirred up a lot of shit the year before, rivalry match, like a lot of celebrations, rubbed them the wrong way. Franco just wanted to rip my head off every time we played him. I think it just caught up to him. It's like, I got to have this guy on my team. I can't be having him playing against me. So
I miss Roehl so much. Yeah.
Real story though. I asked for, I think, 50 more quid a week in Fife. And I mean, I had a solid year there, and the owner's like, "Nah, we can't do that." So I was like, "Okay, I'll just hang out at home if something else comes up." And Franco, I think they lost the first few games, or like I don't know what happened at the start of the year, and then I just jumped on 2-3 weeks in.
I do find it very interesting though, like when you talk to people, how guys end up on certain teams is there's always a connection. There's always someone, like when I was going to go to the UK out of Germany, like the teams I messaged were kind of cold calls, but then Frank the Tank and Brayhead, I was like, well, me, like, can you put in a good word? And then he did, but then I was trying to do the school. So then I never went that way, but like, it's all about who you know. That's what hockey is, right? It's all about who you know.
That's life. Who you know, not what you know.
That's the way it is now, even with life in general.
Tractors, oil, fucking everything.
Tractors and oil.
Tractors, oil, fucking poles, fires, real estate.
Yeah, that's true.
Psycho meds. It's all the same.
Psycho meds.
Oh shit!
I know some people that might need that, so you might give me your. Luckily, your contact shit's on here.
You took it off.
Just fly them over to Washington, pick up their scripts, so I can get credit. That's all.
get the commission.
Referral.
Frankie, we're coming down to see you. Me and Salts. As soon as the border opens up, we're coming.
I love it, man. I've been waiting for. Salts, you messaged me a couple of years ago. I've been waiting for that to visit.
Trying to get down to Seattle for a ball game, I think, and they might have been an old man or something like that at the time. And then I'm not sure. We got to figure something out though.
Yeah, you Canadians.
What about the Tigers?
What's
the Tigers?
Oh man, Super hot. Them and the Lions, they just staying hot over there.
Let's go.
Oh, we got a tough road ahead, man. It's painful.
No, but seriously, I don't know what else I got for far as notes here until we can shut her down and just chit chat. I think this actually went pretty good. I think everybody
part 2. It's the more edition.
Right, like
We'll do
everybody
part 2,
showed
right?
up that was
Part
supposed to.
2.
There was a lot of people on the fence going into this, and I was like, you know what? If we just book a time in a day, shit's gonna happen, and these guys will make time for it. And you all did. Frankie was supposed to be at a concert. He said, "Fuck it, I'm coming to the shed." Right? Mizey says, "I got an equipment run for work." He says, "Fuck it, I'm going to the shed." And then Railer is like, I'm going out. I'm going to a pub. He's like, you know what? I'll just do it from here. And then Keither, I'm still trying to get to know you. You know, I'm trying to ease my way into it. I can be a bit aggressive, but I'm trying to coerce you into my shed for a little one-on-one time. But you know what? I'll just leave you be. But then and then Salt says, like, we started this. I was like, I don't know, man. You're one of my favorite teammates, like that you would hang out with me with my kids. And like, I know when you're a hockey player and you're a young pro and like people have kids, you're like, well, you're living a totally different life than everybody else. But you made the time. You came with me to the playgrounds. You came with me for lunch with the kids. And like, when you take time for my kids and like, it's like, oh, like, I think this is so fun that we could get you guys on and everybody catch up. And I didn't realize how many clan dudes I knew, you know?
That was fun. Everybody. It's been a long time. So nice to catch up with everybody and see everybody again.
Salty, you're the last one left for kids, buddy. You better get on it.
Blue check mark. Blue check mark.
Right.
And this has been another episode of 2 Ales and Hockey Tales with Railer, Salt, Keither, Frankie, Mizey, and Wally.